The sun was already hot by 10 a.m. as Marcus Hayes wiped the sweat from his brow with a grease-stained rag. Bent under the hood of an old, coughing pickup truck, the 53-year-old mechanic had been at it since dawn. His coveralls were worn, his boots scuffed to the sole, and his fingers bore permanent streaks of oil from years of working jobs nobody else wanted. But what most people didn't know about Marcus, what even Marcus himself often forgot, was that once upon a time, he had a dream. He used to build models of aircraft with his dad in a cramped garage. He'd memorized the sound of every engine at the local airstrip by the time he was 12. But then life, as it does, knocked the wind out of his dreams. His father died suddenly. His mom struggled. Marcus left school early, took on odd jobs to help at home, and never made it to flight school. Still, he never stopped tinkering. At night, after his shift, he'd stay late in his little garage designing, sketching, welding scraps together. He taught himself aerodynamics from library books, watched YouTube videos in secret like a teenager sneaking candy, and quietly built his own mini helicopter from scratch over the years. He didn't tell anyone. Who would have believed him? He just needed one part, one final, specialized engine component to bring it all together. And that's how he ended up at Westfield Motors, the sleekest, most high-end car dealership in the city. They didn't just sell luxury cars, they sold status. But Marcus wasn't there to buy a car. He had heard rumors that the dealership owner, a retired engineer named Carl Weston, collected rare engine parts and often kept them stored in a glass case on the showroom floor. Marcus had called, emailed, and even mailed a handwritten letter. No one responded. So one Friday afternoon, hands still covered in grease, Marcus decided to go in person. The moment he walked through the glass doors, heads turned. "Can I help you?" asked a sharply dressed receptionist, her smile more rehearsed than real. "I'm looking for Mr. Weston," Marcus said, nodding politely. "Do you have an appointment?" she asked, her eyes flicking to his boots, then to the oil stains on his sleeves. "No, ma'am, but I'm sorry, sir," she said curtly. "We don't entertain walk-ins without appointments. Especially not service providers." Another man, tall and broad-shouldered with a platinum Rolex peeking from under his cuff, approached. "Is there a problem here?" Before Marcus could explain, the man spoke over him. "This is a luxury facility. Our clients come here for an elevated experience. I suggest you leave." Humiliation flushed through Marcus like a fever. He nodded silently, turned around, and walked out. That night, Marcus sat in his garage, staring at the nearly finished helicopter. One part. Just one. But it wasn't about the part anymore. It was about everything that part represented. A lifetime of being dismissed, ignored, forgotten. He almost gave up. But then something in him flickered. A stubbornness he inherited from his father. A quiet fire he thought had died. And so, at sunrise the next morning, the skies over Westfield Motors were shattered by a sound none of them had heard before, a low hum, a rising rhythm of blades slicing through the quiet dawn air. People ran out of the showroom, shielding their eyes from the wind. And then, like something out of a movie, a helicopter, small, hand-built, and oddly beautiful, descended slowly onto the flat roof of the dealership. It landed perfectly. The cockpit opened. Out stepped Marcus Hayes. Security ran to the rooftop, confused, panicked, and breathless. But the first person to reach him was none other than Carl Weston himself, summoned urgently from his home when someone yelled into the phone, "A helicopter just landed on the roof, sir, and the pilot says it's you he came to see." Carl, silver-haired and sharp-eyed, stood speechless. "I didn't mean to cause a scene," Marcus said calmly. "I just wanted to show you what I built. All I needed was a single component, one you probably forgot you even had." Carl walked around the craft, examining every detail with the precision of someone who knew what he was looking at. He looked back at Marcus. "You built this yourself?" he asked, incredulous. "In my garage, with parts from junkyards, and a lot of trial and error." Carl was silent for a long time. Then he nodded slowly. "Son, this is genius." He turned to the stunned employees. "Get this man some coffee, and get me the component he needs." The story went viral in less than 24 hours. Grease-stained mechanic lands helicopter on dealership roof. Local genius ignored until he takes to the skies. Marcus became an overnight sensation, not because he craved fame, but because the world couldn't believe someone so ordinary could be so extraordinary. But the real magic happened behind the scenes. Carl Weston offered Marcus a partnership, a new company, a chance to develop low-cost, sustainable air transport systems for emergency responders in rural America. Marcus accepted, on one condition, that a portion of their work go toward training underprivileged kids in engineering and aviation. I want kids like me to know they can fly too, he said. 6 months later, on the same dealership rooftop, a plaque was installed. To Marcus Hayes, who proved that dreams have no dress code.